This is Will.
This is Alex.
Welcome back to another episode of They Mostly Come Out of It.
Welcome, everyone. You know the drill. We have a mission for you. Go to YouTube. Go to Spotify, Apple Music, Stitcher, Podbean, wherever you get your podcasts, wherever you listen to your stuff, wherever you watch your videos. Look us up. If you like what you hear, maybe give us a like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Really helps out the podcast. Go ahead and share it with friends as well if you want to. You know, just I'm in a good mood tonight because, man, we watched insanely, well, not underrated anymore, but it was underrated for a while. Good movie. But anyway, yes, go to all your stuffs. Also, wanted to give a quick update. Still planning the live stream.
It will happen.
It will probably happen next month.
Don't worry about it.
So look out for it. We will let everyone know. You will be notified. I didn't put anything on Instagram because I wanted it to be a surprise for everyone what we were watching tonight. Because
you will know. People
have opinions on this movie, like big opinions.
And the franchise, yeah.
And the whole franchise as a whole. Like now, I have opinions on the whole franchise because I think for the most part, the franchise is absolute garbage.
We'll get to that.
Which is a shame, but we will get to that. Yeah, I don't know. Is there any more housekeeping you have?
The only other thing...
Is there any other recommendations we've gotten? I've been trying to check and everything.
All your recommendations, I have them all listed. Like for past years, future years, whatever. The only other thing is, anyone who subscribes, comments, whatever. It's always interesting to come across other people who are creators, as you would say. One of you know who you are. You make a lot of content about like cryptozoology.
Oh yes, okay.
So, I'm been like looking through some of that just because I always appreciate seeing another person who puts content out in the world.
What's their channel name?
Blackwater Media.
Yes, so I'm glad you said that because I've been checking out their stuff too. They're really good. Like, if you like that kind of like cryptozoology stuff, I actually like their videos a lot.
Just like stories, little things, because cryptozoology is always fascinating. I mean, we have a podcast that is like mostly horror movies, so obviously.
Yeah, and we really appreciate, I mean, if you've seen a lot of our comments, a lot of it is Blackwater Media, and they've been... I mean, I don't know if it's like one... I think it's one guy, but I'm not 100% sure. Anyway, thank you for like all the communication. And the
recommendations.
You're doing some good stuff too. What we're going to... should we link?
I'll leave it alone. He knows who he is.
Okay. You know who you are.
If you want to,
go look up Blackwater Media on YouTube. Really good stuff if you're into cryptozoology.
Other than that, that's it. So, tonight... Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. Now,
okay,
so obviously, first Texas Chainsaw Massacre is a classic masterpiece, incredible film.
One of the greatest horror movies of all time.
Now, when I first watched this movie, I mean, you probably did the same thing. I watched it completely blind. Like I didn't know what I was getting into.
Yeah.
And within the opening scene, I'm sure you'll agree, I was in.
Oh.
I was...
Absolutely.
I was like, why doesn't everybody talk about this? This is already great, and it only gets better.
Now, to use a term, I fuck heavy with this shit. This is so... goddamn bizarre and insane.
Rob Zombie owes his movie career
to
this thing.
Like legit, if you're a Rob Zombie fan and you have not seen this movie, what are you doing? Like, what if you like the House of the Thousand Corpses and all that kind of shit? Like, what are you doing? Stop sleeping on this movie if you haven't
if
seen
you
it.
like the kind of stuff that he does outside of the Halloween stuff, that kind of like vibe, you need to watch this movie.
Oh yeah, it's not like a you should watch it. You need to.
You have to watch this
Because
it's
it's such Rob Zombie vibes before Rob Zombie was even a thing.
this is so absolutely unhinged. This has to be, obviously, goes without saying, this is going to be a rambler.
This is gonna be a rambler. It's gonna be a gusher. We're just gonna like talk about why we love this movie so much.
The only thing that I will think chronologically that we should mention is the opening.
Yes, well, and I mean, obviously, we'll like kind of like glaze over the plot, but honestly, if I'm being completely honest, there's not much of a plot. I mean, it's a very basic setup. It's a very basic thing that happens, but nothing about this movie is basic.
Just like the first one.
Yeah.
Because the opening it's just like two guys. Well, they have like a crawl saying like the events of the first movie happened, and then.
Well, yeah, and it's like basically like there's murdering sprees all over Texas, and like
it never ends.
The craze has gone on, so it's gonna continue for years. Will this Texas Chainsaw Massacre ever end?
And then it's two guys driving to party in Dallas. And
it's probably one of the most like we're definitely in Texas scenes I've ever fucking seen.
Well, one of them's got like these goofy glasses and he's just shooting at random shit. He shoots at a mailbox.
Shooting at like signs.
There's a sign that says "Remember the Alamo." Shoots at that. There's like a battle of San Jacinto.
Well, there's a mile marker. He shoots at everything.
And the whole time they're listening to this radio station.
It's a local radio station, manned. Or broadcasted by our main character.
The only normal person in the movie.
Legitimately, yes. But that's fine, because we need a link to normalcy
if you want
so that we can delve into the absolute fucking insanity that this movie is.
She's kind of like our final girl, in a way.
Yeah.
But
I mean, she legitimately is like,
and
so.
she broadcasts this, and they play like rock music, and they call in and like say all sorts of nonsense.
Well, they're like annoying her because they won't get off the line, and they're like taking up the entire line, and they're just like driving around with the phone open, so she can't like disconnect the line.
And then they drive around, and then it's nighttime. Oh no, they play chicken with some guy on the road.
Well, it's a blue truck, and they drive all over the road because at this point, I mean. It helps if you've watched the first movie, but you don't know what happened to the family because the woman at the end just gets away and is just laughing maniacally
while Leatherface swings
his chainsaw around.
And it
so
cuts
like
to black.
None of them really die. Well, did any of the family die?
Any of the family died. No,
I don't think they did. It's been a while since I've watched that movie, so it's incredible. But so she just gets away. We don't really see what happens to the family, so you have no idea at this point what they've been doing. It's like 16 years later.
Yeah.
Because it's present day in the...
It's like 12 years, I think.
Yeah, so it's present day, and it's like... It's supposed to be that amount of time between the first one and this one. So, yeah, they're playing chicken with this blue truck. And
they run it off the road.
They run it off the road, and then it like cuts to them at night, right? So it's like a few hours later.
And the radio station. Now, mind you, when I first watched this movie, this was like my experience. Like, so they start playing "No One Lives Forever" by Oingo Boingo, which is a great song. And I was like, okay, all right. And then they start playing that, and the guys call in, making another request about something like bright lights, big titties. They're going to Dallas and they want to see some big titties, and they make that request, and there's like there's like this bridge, and there's a truck there, and it cuts them off, and it's the same truck.
Yeah, so it stops in front of them, and they
like, "What are you? Get the fuck out of here, pig fucker!"
They like try to drive away, but the truck starts reversing at the same speed that they're going forward,
and starts driving right next to them. While the song plays, and then they're still on the line. So the DJ and her like assistant hear all this. A fucking thing gets on top of the truck.
It's a zombie.
It's like dancing. They're like,
it
what?
starts just doing a little jig on top of this truck.
And they're just like, what the fuck? And
it looks like so at first, and this is on purpose, it looks like a zombie Halloween prop.
Yeah.
Like it's like, it looks absolutely fake. And then I love when they zoom in on it because you can tell it's just a dead person grafted onto this fucking like robe that Leatherface is wearing. It's Leatherface, but so because obviously he cuts up all the bodies and sews them on shit and makes furniture and all that, crazy, insane shit, which we will see a lot of that in the movie. Like majority of the movie, you see some of the most creative fucking furniture made out of people possible.
I've never seen so many uses for skeletons. Well,
it's kind of insane. They use them for fucking everything.
But he's like dancing, and then he, just takes out a chainsaw.
He starts doing his classic, like, jiggling it around all over his head.
And then he starts sawing at the car.
And they're like freaking out, and this is all being recorded.
Yes.
Because they're still on the open line on the radio.
It's like, it sounds like a buzzsaw.
And the guy's getting sawed at, and they're trying to like get away, but they're on this like tiny bridge. Now, I can suspend my disbelief. This is probably the longest fucking bridge on the planet because they're still driving. I don't really know how the bridge went on that long, but it doesn't matter.
It's a very long river.
So the chainsaw finally connects and
starts slicing through the car,
and they like get veered.
The one of the guys, because the guy who's been shooting all the shit on the side of the road.
Oh, he shoots the mask away,
and it shoots off like the head,
and you see the classic Leatherface.
And you see Leatherface like screaming, and then he just keeps slicing, and like fucking door falls off and all this shit, and then they think everything's fine. And you see that he sliced the top of the guy's head off.
While Oingo Boingo says no one lives forever.
Yes, while the song keeps playing the whole scene.
Well, I love when his like skull pops off.
Yeah.
The song goes, no one lives forever,
And then the top of the head pops off and there's blood and...
If I could time our Instagram stories as well as this sequence was timed, we would be in the stratosphere.
And then they hear on the radio show, they hear the car crashing and the line just goes dead.
Yeah, because they veer off the...
Now, that's the intro to the movie. And, first time I watched this, I was like, okay, this is great. Like, this can't... Sometimes you see a movie and, you just know from the opening that they made it for you.
Well, I think you just know when you're seeing something like you've never seen before, and it's going to subvert pretty much every expectation you have of
anything you could have possibly had
of a horror movie. And I love movies that do that because it's like we've seen a lot of the same shit. Like even on this podcast, we've watched over 200 movies.
Yes.
We've seen so much of the same bullshit day in, day out. Even in like normal horror movies, if you're a horror movie fan, you just see the same shit over and over again a lot. So
especially for a sequel.
I love this kind of movie where it just subverts all your expectations. It just is such a crazy fucking lightning in a bottle like moment for
everything
that you just like. It all works within the confines of the movie. It just all works for me, at least. I can get why some people don't like it because it is fucking insane.
It's very insane.
It's like probably one of the most unhinged fucking like movies,
like mass released studio films.
It's one of the most unhinged like chances a studio's ever taken.
Yeah,
especially
for a sequel.
Especially since we're dealing with Texas Chainsaw Massacre because the first one is also unhinged, but in a very different way. This one just takes everything to like such a ridiculous level that I can't help but be entertained the entire time.
It's not. This is one of those movies that, once it finishes, once the movie ends, you just have to sit there for a bit and like process,
right.
Let your body readjust to reality.
So
the insanity you saw.
What we'll do is we'll kind of go over the plot. So basically, she records this. We get a sheriff who has a connection with the
He's
family.
the uncle of 2 victims
Yes.
in the first movie.
So he comes in. He wants to know what the hell's going on.
That he knows that there's a chainsaw
Well, and he finds
family.
he finds this radio DJ, and he gets her
She
to
finds him.
Yeah, sorry, yeah. So, because he wants information on the
He gets like
chainsaw
something
killings.
printed in the news.
So she has a cassette tape, and she plays it on her radio, and that's how the family knows that she's playing it, and that's how they know. Well, they don't know about Lefty yet,
No.
because Lefty's our sheriff guy, and so we have
He tells her to play it.
We have
basically uses her as bait.
Lefty and Stretch. Stretch is the radio DJ. Lefty is the sheriff. So yeah, he uses her as bait to lure this fucking crazed family to tell them, kind of tell him where they're keeping all the bodies, basically.
Where their operation is. Yeah.
Yeah. So she gets lured there. He gets lured there while she's getting absolutely fucking tortured and like maimed. He is trying to bring the entire place down. That's your initial setup.
Yes.
Everything about that sounds okay, right? Until you get into the meat of the movie, which we will get into now. And I think we're just going to go over.
Well,
I love the introduction to the fucking like crazed guy that's like getting the profit for this family. He's the same guy from the first one.
Are you talking about
Our chili guy.
Oh, the fucking yeah.
Yeah.
It's the meat.
Well, because basically how they're making ends meet.
Small businessman gets it in the ass.
They're making fucking chili and entering it in competitions, and they're using human meat in their chili.
Yeah, because you don't know. I mean,
It's such a fucking great scene when
because it's just like them, like they're doing a chili cook-off.
Well, and you see they ladle their chili into the fucking like the bowl
Like
on
a
top.
trophy.
And it looks like shit, like
Yeah.
crawling down like Texas.
All of it. Yeah.
And I'm sure that's like they're like the shit stain.
It's crawling out of it because they poured so much chili in there.
Well, and I love the woman that like takes a bite and she's like, "What's your secret?" And she like,
it's the meat.
she chews on like a little bone, and he's like, "Oh, that must be one of those like
peppercorns.
hard shell peppercorns."
This dude,
It's funny that he's the most sane out of this entire
because all he
family,
cares about is his business.
but he is absolutely insane.
No,
He is absolutely insane.
this
But
dude is incredible.
he's the most sane out of all 3 of them, because there's like 3 of the family members.
Yeah.
And a 4th one, and we'll get there. And he's like the most sane, but that's not saying much because he is absolutely fucking unhinged. Because all he talks about is his fucking business and how no one helps him.
Well, there's even because it's a Rambler, but there's a scene when he first meets Dennis Hopper's character, and he thinks he's like a competitor.
Yeah. Well, he thinks he's one of those.
Who sent you?
Oh my god!
It's like those fuckers at Delmar Catering, those chicken shit burrito man bunch.
And then he also calls him like this new age because he
just says like I'm the Lord of the Harvest. He's like, what's that?
Is that some new age grocery?
Some health food bunch. He just like all he thinks about is like he's some competition. Just to pay him off. But he's fantastic. And then the other batshit introduction.
This is, I still love this jump scare. Like, I don't get why this jump scare is not on more,
this whole scene,
like more lists and stuff, because
before the jump scare is like 6-7 minutes long.
Well, yeah, I mean, you
incredible.
don't expect this jump scare at all. It's like The Exorcist 3 jump scare.
Yeah.
Like, it just lingers so long that you're like, there's no way anything. Oh shit. Okay.
Well, it's just because it's after she plays the radio tape. They
know where she is, right? So they go to the radio
she
station.
hears all this noise, so she goes into like the main room of the radio, and there's just a guy sitting there. He's got fucked up teeth. He's got like a wig, and he has like a.
Well, he has like a Bono, like a bowl cut wig.
So,
it's
yeah,
like
he has he has a coat hanger,
and he's dressed like a fucking hippie.
He keeps lighting it on fire.
and then scratching something
and
on his
scratches
head.
something, and he keeps like a burning sound
And
effect.
then he keeps like licking it, and then he'll touch his head and like lick the stuff off.
Keeps saying he has he has a great line where he keeps saying music is my life, and he does like the peace sign.
The peace sign because he's dressed
Like,
as
I'm
a
big
hippie.
fan, and he's like, I got a request and all this stuff, and it's just 7 minutes of her like.
Well, he's just rambling on and
But she
on
is-
about
like trying to keep it together of how like terrified she is of this fucker, and he's like, I'll give you a tour. Like, I'll give you a tour.
Well, so at this point, also when she went to like talk to Dennis Hopper's character, Lefty, he said that he has no fear, so that's why he's gonna take on these people. Because that kind of plays a part in this like introduction to Leatherface and this other fucking Chrome
Chop
Dome.
Top.
Chop Top, yeah. Chrome Dome, Chop Top, both would work.
But yeah, he just keeps freaking her out, and she gives him like a little tour.
Well, so it's the weirdest fucking tour because he's absolutely fucking just like not there at all mentally, and she just keeps picking random shit off the desk and is like,
These are flowers.
"Here's Sharky. Here's the Rolodex. Here's this."
There's the exit, and he's like, EXIT exit.
Well, and she's
Yes,
like,
leave.
the back and forth because the whole movie feels like a fever dream. So I
Yes.
get why people are a little
Hesitant
or don't like it. I can understand
because
that.
it's absolute madness.
Because nothing is normal. Even the normal character doesn't really act that normal.
well, she's just terrified,
Well, because she keeps saying goodbye,
and he's just like, bye.
He's like, bye.
But he just stands
bye.
there and scratches
Bye.
his fucking head.
And like licks his little fucking coat hanger.
And then eventually he's like, what's in here? Oh, all the oldies. And it's like a dark room, and you see like records and stuff. And then she's like, yes, get out. He's like, oh, what's in here? Let's see more.
He flicks on the light, and Leatherface lunges at her, and she gets out of the way just in time. And Leatherface
hits-
knocks.
Chop Top.
He hits him in the head and knocks off his wig. And we see this giant fucking chrome circlet.
And he starts freaking out about how you dented my plate. And then he literally starts screaming, Nom flashback.
Yeah.
Nom flashback.
He
Instead of like
suppose
any other line, just openly, just so you know, Nom flashback.
Well, and I love the concept of like we have no idea why he keeps like scratching.
What the fuck it is, yeah.
Well, and you finally see what he's scratching and licking. He has like
He also
brain
keeps
matter,
picking off.
like brain ooze and shit, and he keeps picking it off and eating it.
Yeah.
So disgusting, obviously.
Fantastic.
But you're just like it all sets in, right? You're like, oh, that's what he was fucking eating? Ew.
And he's like freaking out. He's like, you fucked up my Sonny Bono wig, like all this shit. And yeah, she locks herself in this room, and he just keeps like sawing at it and all this shit.
And then so our guy, our like radio manager comes in.
He's got a crush on her. He shows up.
And he brings drinks, and they fucking beat the shit out of him. The fucking Nom guy beats the shit out of him, and
Incoming mail.
it keeps like hitting him with a hammer, and it goes on for a long time.
Eventually, Leatherface gets in the room with her.
Yeah, well, and so he like saws at the sodas, and she's all
It's like an ice tray.
and she's all like wet and shit, and she starts trying to seduce.
Well, because he like
Leatherface.
he positions his chainsaw directly in between her legs.
Yes.
And she's just like trying to keep it together, and at the same time being like, "Oh, you're good."
And he puts it like right on her like crotch area, and she's like absolutely fucking terrified that he's gonna turn it on, but she keeps like looking at him longingly in the
She's
eyes.
like, "Please no."
And
Please
then
no.
he like freaks out, goes into the studio, absolutely just to fucking demolishes it,
everything.
and then like thrusts his chainsaw at her a couple times and then runs away.
He
You know what an alternative title to this movie could have been called?
please.
Leatherface in Love.
Yeah, we get. Yeah. Also,
That was their meet cute.
this is. But really, this is a film about family.
It is.
And that's what makes it so powerful.
It makes it so powerful. It's true.
But he lets her live. Because, he goes downstairs and the guy's like, oh, did you get her? It's like, because he doesn't talk.
Well, it kind of sets up like why she's allowed to live
Yeah.
for so long, because he doesn't kill her. He's afraid, like,
He tells Chop, nods his head like, yeah, I got her. She's dead.
Yeah.
They leave and they take the body, and then the rest of the insanity happens.
Yeah, so we have like, let's see.
You know what
There's
we should talk
nothing-
about? We should talk about the iconic chainsaw shopping scene.
Yeah. So we didn't go over that because, again, this is a rambler. So I love this scene.
Because, like your action movies and stuff have
Well,
scenes
because
where...
at this point, you just think that Lefty's like this weird alcoholic guy, right? He's not, he's kind of put together.
He's obsessed.
He's obsessed with like taking down this family, but he's like going to do it by any means possible, but you're not sure what those means are. And you're just like, okay, well, he seems more normal than the family and everything. So I guess,
Yeah.
we can
At
get
this point, he still is.
we can get behind him, right?
Yeah.
I can get behind Dennis Hopper's character.
He's got a personal connection.
Yeah. So until this scene, now, because he's been normal up until this point, quote unquote normal. And so he pulls up to a chainsaw shop, goes in, lays like $800 on a table, and just starts picking up the chainsaws and just throwing them around, testing their weight, making sure they're able to work. And then he picks up 2 chainsaws, swings them around, dual wields them.
But the guy, the like owner of the shop the whole time.
Well, first he's on the phone, and then he comes in and he's like,
Because the guy doesn't say anything. Dennis Hopper just lays down a stack of fucking $100 bills.
like I said, he lays down like $800.
And just starts messing around. The guy's like, can I help you? And he sees him like waving it around and all this shit. And he's just like standing there like,
It's like, oh God, what the fuck are you
and then
doing?
he like takes 2 little ones and 1 big one. And the guy's like, there's wood out back if you want to like test it. There's gas in them.
Well, and he's like, yeah, there's a log out there. You can test them
And
out.
again, he doesn't say a word. He just goes outside, goes to the log, and just turns on the chainsaw and just starts going bananas.
He just starts wailing on this fucking
And
log.
the fucking guy,
I love what he's, because he takes this. So he has the 2 dual wield like shorter chainsaws, and then he has 1 long one.
and he takes the long one and starts going ballistic.
Yeah,
and the guy's like,
oh my aching banana,
"Oh my aching banana!"
oh my aching banana,
And it's just you
It's
see
just-
him just chopping him
and
maniacally.
it just keeps cutting back to the shop owner being like utterly horrified that Dennis Hopper is just fucking annihilating this fucking log.
Oh my god!
It's so good because I love the juxtaposition because it's an absolutely unhinged fucking sheriff,
Yeah,
like pretending this is like the Texas
Yeah.
Chainsaw Family, while this like innocent
old man
bystander just watches in utter horror. Oh my God, it's so fucking good.
like that really, that really just settles in concrete the fucking tone of this thing.
I think we need to like talk about the descent into the fucking like the hellhole
Oh my god!
that we have for the. Can I just say, before we get into it, the set work on this fucking movie. Some might call it tacky. I don't care.
Bro,
I don't know why you would.
Please no.
It's so fucking good. The aesthetic is absolutely insane. Like if
World's most insane haunted house.
if you like haunted houses, this is incredible to look at. Like we watched like a 1080p remaster of it. It looks so fucking good, and there's just shit everywhere. It's like skeletons, fucking
Christmas lights. Yeah.
fucking just anything and everything.
There's
you
a
can,
section where it's like a long tunnel with like Christmas lights, and there's like
well, there's
fucking-
there's like dioramas. Like
with like
they set up like 2 like.
real bodies, dead bodies, and skeletons and shit.
Well, they set up like 2 decaying women on like beach chairs and
Yeah, like,
shit, and
there's like a businessman.
there's a
like,
bunch of like skeletons and fucking wheelchairs everywhere, and the cobwebs and fucking anything you can think of is in here. They have walls made out of bones. They have fucking
chandeliers
made out of bones, chairs made out of bones, tables made out of bones. Fucking anything you can think of that's made out of bones. They have like lamps made of human skin. They have
anything. If you can assume any of like the covering, you just assume it's human skin.
It's basically its own character.
Because they live in like it's called like Texas Battleground or Texas Battleland. It's like a fucking like roadside attraction.
And they live underneath it.
And once you get underneath there, it's just... That's the nightmare scenario.
It's just
all this shit.
Bodies galore.
Because half of the movie, basically after they assault the radio station and they take the body of the guy that they just fucking incoming mailed, they, Stretch follows them, and then the cop also follows her.
And the rest of the movie takes place in this place.
Because she falls through like a trap door.
Because, I mean, if you think about it, there's only 5 characters in this movie.
Yeah.
There's 2 main characters that are, again, quote-unquote normal.
One of them is normal.
And then there's the 3 villains.
Because this scene, our cop admits to her that he basically used her as bait.
Now, we'll kind of forget about Dennis Hopper for a minute because... Lefty. Because he just goes on a rampage.
Once she falls through, he straps... the 2 tiny chainsaws to him.
And just takes the long chainsaw and just starts fucking sawing
screams,
everything.
Runs in there and is just like, bring it all down! Take him back to hell! And like...
Because it will sometimes cut to him, but he just is saying like this insane bullshit and sawing shit in half. Because that's...
the structure collapses.
That's all you need to know until he shows up at the end.
Yeah, she's in there.
So so can we talk about the scene with her fucking like radio friend?
This scene, the tone of this scene is so goddamn like it's a mystery. It's incredible.
It's really wild what they do because it's horrific and it's fucking like scary as shit.
It's horrific, it's scary,
but it's also
it's
like
funny,
kooky and weird and
everything.
I don't know how they want me to feel in this scene.
Joy. That's one thing.
Yeah, well, that's true. Because, I mean, it's Leatherface using someone else as a doll, basically.
And he dances with her. That happens.
Well, after, sawing her friend's face off.
Because she gets in there, and she's, hiding behind this, barrel. And the whole room, there's, body parts hanging off of hooks. There's body parts on the ground.
Well, and there's fog and red light everywhere and fucking...
And then, the Leatherface comes in with his family, and they say, chop him up. We got a barbecue. The football game's coming.
They have to make more chili.
This is true because, listen, he's
a small business owner.
The small business owner gets it up the ass.
Support local.
Support your local small businessman. Because he has an eye for meat.
Yes,
he tells us.
Mm-hmm.
He's always had a good eye for quality meat. And don't skimp on the meat. Okay.
Don't skimp on the meat. You don't have to when you have an endless supply of it.
Of quality meat.
Yes.
Okay? And they tell him to chop the guy up. And so you see him slice off a giant
sheet of his leg
and his
skin
torso.
And his torso, and then he finally saws off his face and holds it up to the light, and she's horrified. She's hiding behind a barrel because there's nowhere else to hide. And he finds her
because she knocks over some metal stuff, and he finds her, and she's like, "You have to help me."
I don't know why you. Well, I mean, desperate times call for desperate measures. Why you would ask Leatherface for help?
Because she knows that he.
Well, there's no other escape, right? There's no other fucking way out of here.
She knows he let her live.
Well, right, and he has the feels. He's catching the feels.
Because he, the other family members show up and they're like, "What are you doing? Why are you wasting time?" And he just shows them the head, the face, and
they're like, "Okay, well, finish processing, and we gotta start this."
Off. And she's like, help me. And he's like, hold on. And he takes the fucking...
When you think, okay, he's gonna actually help her because he loves her. Oh, cute.
He takes the fucking face.
Her friend's face.
puts it on her. And she's
Takes
like-
his cowboy hat,
And he puts it on her.
puts it on her.
And then ties her up. And ties up her, like, arms. And he's just like, just sit, stay. And then he dances with her.
Yeah, he twirls her around.
They dance.
And dances and is all happy and everything.
And then
he ties her up.
And then he tells her to like sit and stay, and walks off and closes the
He
door.
wants a little toy, okay?
Bubba's in love. They say this. Okay.
Bubba is in love, yes.
And
he wants to know about
she's
that
freaking-
sex.
SCEX.
Yeah.
You gotta choose, boy.
You gotta
Sex or the
choose the
saw.
sex or the saw.
Sex is, oh, no one knows. But the saw,
The saw is
is family.
Holy shit, dude.
and she's like freaking out. And then you hear like someone screaming.
And her fucking friend is alive and sees her wearing his face with the cowboy hat.
And his face is missing. And you see like the torso and all this shit. And he's like, it's okay. It's okay.
I love his death scene though, because he just reaches up because he
helps her.
He helps her.
unties her.
He
He has a machete and like cuts off her.
It's
rope.
so weird, the fucking scene where he's like stabbing at her, and you think he's gonna stab her because he's gone insane, but then he like helps tie her, free her, and he reaches his hand up to the fucking camera,
It's like,
and his hand goes limp,
shit.
and then dies.
And then she's like, I'm so sorry. I love you. And then she takes off the skin, puts it back on him, and then takes off his hat.
There are no normal scenes, because a normal scene, they would just have the fucking main character get all freaked out, throw the face on the ground, and try to run away, right?
Yes.
Not this movie.
No.
She takes off the face and tries to put it back
on his head.
back on his head,
After
and then
he-
lays his cowboy hat on his shoulder.
And you get a nice little send-off. But also, when
How
a normal
sentimental.
movie, you have the guy who gets his face ripped off and half of the skin on his torso and leg is missing, just die and go, shit. Dead.
Now, normally we get upset with those kind of deaths.
Listen,
but
I can't.
in the context of this movie, like, how could you get upset? It just fits in so well with everything else going on.
Well, it's just great because he just like tries to calm her down earlier, and he's like, "Listen, it's fine. Don't worry about it."
As he's like,
okay.
as he is in an incredible amount of pain, way more pain than she is. And it's just kind of trying to calm her down while his face is missing.
Because he loves her. It's a movie about love.
And then,
Will.
shit.
Well, this is a movie about love, and it's a movie about family, and that's what makes it so powerful.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
She wipes off the blood off her face as much as she can, and tries to make a run for it.
Well,
while
she's-
Dennis Hopper is running around screaming and chopping, fucking destroying this place.
And so she's running around and she like sees Leatherface and he tells her to like not come there, and she goes through like pipes. There's like pipes and shit all over, and they're
They
like
see her.
Well, they see her and they
the-
think that she's the one that's
Sabotaging,
Trying to,
yeah.
And this is when he does like the whole like, I'm a small business owner, like you're from a competitor, you're trying to sabotage.
Yeah, because
me.
they catch up to her,
and that's when he does the whole like the Saw's family.
He's
And
like, "How are you alive? Like didn't you say she was dead?" Because Chop Chop's like, "Oh, it's the DJ. He killed her already." And then he's like, "Oh, I see what's happening." And then he's just like,
that's when he says,
"Bubba's got a girlfriend."
and then
Oh, by the way, the whole time this is happening, he has the like a dead body marionette with him too that he keeps dancing around with.
when he keeps going, Nomland.
Because he's like, listen, the Texas Battleland is over.
Yeah,
It's over. No one cares. You gotta move on. New business.
Nomland. Like Vietnam land. And so he like, well, after he gives that whole like Saw's family, they knock her out with a bone, and now we get, of course,
Just like the first movie had
It's
the
a
batshit
Texas
insane dinner,
it's a-
family dinner.
yeah, it's a Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie, so you have to have a dinner scene.
Oh boy.
The one take they do at the beginning of this sequence is incredible.
it's this. Just you have to watch it because it's like
it's hard to describe because it looks so fucking cool because they're on this like giant platform in what looks like a warehouse, and it's this table made completely of bones
with all sorts of insane decorations.
There's like a skull with like green onions coming out of it.
She has like this weird thing on this like throne chair behind her.
Well, and they have like skeletons drinking out of crazy straws from like bottles and shit.
There's like a random like mummified corpse drinking out of a crazy straw and has a radio next to it. And the whole time it's like this like crane that they like, it's like zoomed in on her and then it zooms out and you see them wheeling in Grandpa.
Dude, I would have loved I would give anything to walk around this set.
To see all the detail?
I would love to walk around this set. It would be so fucking cool. Mm-hmm. There's so much shit everywhere. And it's like some shit you don't even see. Like they just set everything up because it feels...
You see it for like a split second. Yeah.
When it feels like something 3 absolute fucking madmen would create.
The people in the movie, yeah.
Like people who are just completely fucking broken would make.
They bring in Grandpa. And they keep talking about how, Grandpa's a one-hitter, and he's a big deal. And, like, the whole time, just like the first movie, our lady, our final girl, is just screaming and going crazy.
So her script is probably just A-A-H-H-H-H-H-H-H-H-H-H-H.
At some point,
it just devolves into her screaming.
They're like, how we want to know, like, can you scream on cue without losing your voice? Yes, cool. Done.
Okay, you're gonna have to do that for like.
This is
You're gonna have to do that in a lot of scenes,
and you're gonna be covered in blood and sweat too. But she's just screaming, and the fucking dad, Mr. Chilly Man, is just telling a story about how his grandpa was put out of business by automation.
Well, and they bring in Grandpa. He looks like a corpse, but he's alive.
They keep saying he's like 130 years old.
Yeah, and the reason he's able to stay alive for so long is he drinks blood from a ladle.
He says his all liquid diet.
It's just blood that they drain into a gross galvanized tub, and he ladles it out. That's like literally what they're gonna do.
That's what they do. And so they're doing that, and Leatherface kind of like is hesitant because.
But he brings her. There's a lot of like hesitation scenes in this, and it just adds to the insanity because they take a long time sometimes to like do things.
Because the whole family's screaming at him.
Well, there's just so much dialogue being thrown around. People are talking over everyone. It's chaos.
There's so much little like weird lines and weird dialogue that's just. You can easily like miss it because so much is being thrown at you,
which is actually to its advantage because I love things that would typically annoy me for some reason just work in this movie
because it adds to the insanity.
Yeah, cool, because it makes you feel insane.
You feel like her.
You feel insane, and you feel like you're just like, what the fuck am I watching? Yeah. But that's great.
I mean, even because when they do like put her head in like the big fucking bucket and like Grandpa's old as fucking weak.
He ain't no one hitter anymore.
So they keep giving him the hammer and he's
dropping
either missing it or dropping it.
Well, and he's getting all excited and stuff, and he finally hits her once.
And it's too weak. He's too weak.
So the guy picks up the
whatever, let's just do this. And he hits her and knocks her out.
Well, and she's all dazed, right? And then you get our unhinged hero.
You hear like explosions, then you hear singing.
He starts singing a song. I can't remember what song it is.
But like bringing in the sheaves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you just see
Chop Top starts singing along, and the fucking dad's like, "Shut the fuck up."
He's like, "Who are you?" And then is
that a way to enter a man's home?
You see Lefty in the pipe, shown like silhouetted in yellow, with a giant fucking chainsaw, just singing and like lumbering down. He looks like a villain himself.
Yes.
And he like
literally
he jumps down and he's just like pointing the chainsaw at them, right?
Like a drum roll.
He's like, this is when he's like, the grandpa's like,
boys,
yeah,
you shouldn't have done this. And the
I love how that's his like grand entrance. You shouldn't have done this.
And they're just like, Is that a way to enter a man's home? That's when he accuses him of being like a competitor.
Yeah, from like the big
burrito
tech,
people.
Yeah,
And then he's like, "Listen, I got real cash money here. We'll
how much do you want? We'll make a deal." And he's like, "I don't want money." And then the guy tries to run away, and
he says, "I'm the Lord of the Harvest."
Yeah, and the chili guy tries to run away and gets like sawed in the ass.
He's just sawed in the ass, and then he later on says that helps my that really helped my hems.
Yeah,
My hemorrhoid.
Man, that really helped my hands.
Oh, that really baked my beans.
Because he got hit in the balls, I guess.
Scratching his ass.
When he pulls out blood, and he dives underneath the table.
And then
as Lefty and Leatherface have a sword duel with chainsaws.
Yeah, he helps.
If this doesn't sound incredible to you,
honey,
this
is
not.
Incredible.
This is. I don't know how it could. I don't get why people don't like this movie. I know there's haters, but I don't. I fucking love it.
Once you get,
so good.
Because listen, once you sit through all the insanity of the whole movie,
yeah,
all the insanity, everything you sat through, and then you get to a fucking chainsaw duel with the one man who was just as insane as the family.
Yeah.
Oh, before that, there's a brief moment where he finds his like dead fucking nephew. So from the first movie, there's the guy in the wheelchair, and he gets killed by Leatherface. He saws his fucking head apparently in half, and he sees his corpse.
Yeah.
And then he goes even more ballistic.
Oh yeah, he just snaps at that point.
And he's like, "We're all going down to hell."
Dude, Tom Savini is such a fucking legend. When Lefty like shoves the chainsaw through Leatherface's stomach and it's all distended and fucking
there's a
grotesque.
Bit, oh my god, because he
I don't know how they did it. I'm sure it's like a prosthetic that they shoved an actual chainsaw through like right next to his body.
Probably.
Because it looks like it's going through it, but it's still fucking running.
It's still running. And there's blood and guts. And he has the chainsaw embedded through him, and they still fight. Because now he takes off the two little ones, and he starts fucking slicing him across the head and all this shit. And the whole time, fucking daddy...
I love when he's like, where's that fuck you, Charlie?
Because he takes like the fucking corpse with the crazy straw, and he starts looking through him while complaining about the small businessman getting it up the ass.
He's like, well, I'm going to show them that small businessmen aren't worth, like, dealing with or whatever. Like, just the ramblings of an absolute fucking madman.
Grandpa is getting his fucking hammer, and he's, like, aiming it.
He's getting ready to, like...
throw it.
Yeah.
He gets ready to throw it, and they build this up for, like, minutes. And then he finally throws it, and he hits Leatherface right in the fucking head.
Dazes him enough that Leatherface drops the chainsaw down and fucking saws the chili guy's head like right in the skull, and he drops the grenade. All this is going on while she's escaping, like the main girl.
She's escaping from Chop Top.
So yeah, Stretch is going up the pipes, and Chop Top is chasing after her.
And she's like kicking him in the balls. There's a part where she breaks a lamp on his head and like shocks the fucking metal plate on him.
Well, and as they're going up the pipes, the grenade explodes. So everyone in that room died, just off camera.
Yes,
because
the last
why
thing
not?
you see is Dennis Hopper just dual wielding chainsaws. Like, I did it.
Well, he's like raising his arms in the sky with these two chainsaws and like twirling around, like I did it, and then just boom.
But yeah, she gets they're running away, and then eventually there's like this tower, has like the fucking Texas flag on top of it and everything, and they climb up it and they fight, and she kicks
out like the railing, and he like swings.
He swings off, and so she gets like a chance to run up to this tower.
It's like an altar for the grandma from the first movie,
and in her hand,
the original chainsaw, Leatherface chainsaw.
And then...
well, and she's naked, too. We see, like, these old, dusty
old,
nipples.
Titties.
Yeah.
It's great. And there's, like, there's, like, a fucking... It's like one of those
it's like a mobile.
Yeah, for babies.
It's a baby mobile made of, like, skeletons and skulls and shit. There's bones fucking everywhere. There's, like, bone curtains she goes
that
past.
You walk through to get in the room.
It's just... this whole altar is insane.
And... he gets up there and, starts threatening her, and she's like, and she looks unhinged.
Oh, I mean, at this point, she's snapped.
She's full on, come and get it.
How could you not?
She's full on, come and get it. And then she turns around and gets the fucking chainsaw.
When he's like, no!
You don't touch Grandma! And then she gets it, and she's like, trying to rev it up.
When he goes over,
fucking killed Grandma.
You killed Grandma. I'm like, bro, she's fucking been dead for centuries. But
she's not on this existence. And while she's she's trying to crank it up, he starts slicing her back.
Yeah, so she finally starts it up and stabs him with it.
She saws him all across his fucking stomach. And then she kicks him, and then he fucking goes tumbling.
The stunt work in this scene where he tumbles down the fucking thing and then falls into a tube.
And then she's just there. It's like this wide, far away shot.
She raises up the fucking chainsaw and starts jiggling it around
the Leatherface jiggle.
And then she starts swinging it all over the place as she's screaming. And then she just holds it up again and end movie. Bruh.
Incredible.
This movie is fucking... I love this movie.
There's so many little things.
Well, there's so much to love about it. It's, if you love haunted houses, you have that. The aesthetic of just this insane, cavernous, horror house.
The family,
the dinner is unhinged as fuck.
Every line of dialogue is incredible. I mean, the family
I wouldn't be surprised if the family ad-libbed a lot of their lines.
Well, there's so much packed into this thing.
Well, the acting is just they sell it on every level because everyone does a good job at their making sure their characters are as insane as possible.
Everyone in the family's fantastic.
Yeah.
Dennis Hopper's great. The DJ's great.
I don't know. This is just it's such a good movie through and through. There, even the soundtrack is just amazing. It's so good.
They you have a goddamn drive-by chainsawing to No One Lives Forever by Oingo Boingo.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you say? What do you say to that?
I don't know. If you haven't seen this movie, what are you doing? Fucking go watch this movie. If you're oh, I don't like sequels, I'm not going to watch the Texas Chainsaw 2 because I've heard it's not good.
Listen.
Fuck them. Go watch it. Fuck them. Go watch it. Don't let them feed that negative bullshit.
Yeah. This is good vibes. This movie is only good vibes, okay?
I would say honestly, there's so much work that went into this movie. It begs to be seen.
No, it's one of a kind. I mean,
well, it's very like you said, it's very unique.
Especially for a sequel.
Yeah. It's probably one of the most unhinged studio sequels I've ever seen.
Because you could argue, people say, oh, the tone is a total 180. In some ways it is.
I think that's...
But in other ways...
Again, I think that's to its credit, though, because if you did the exact same vibe, I don't think it would be as enjoyable.
No, because this movie ramps up.
Well, because what are you going to do? Another family goes to the house and the same thing fucking happens?
No.
I mean...
Oh, wait. No, I'm sorry.
Oh, you...
That's the same thing that they did in every other fucking sequel.
Well, except for that really crazy spoof one with Matthew McConaughey.
Technically, that also has them going to a house.
Well, I mean, yeah.
But
it also has him with a robot leg, and they go through a bin of universal remotes trying to find which one controls it. So...
Also, Leatherface is a cross-dresser.
Yeah.
That was the thing.
Yeah, I think that one will be on our podcast. Some of them will be on, and we will not be. They will not all be gushers.
All of them will be on here. But fun fact for you. That one with the robot leg was the first Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie I ever saw.
That was your introduction?
That was the first one I saw. First of all,
holy shit.
I had no idea.
How does that feel? My God.
I was deeply confused the whole time.
Yeah.
Because the whole time watching that movie, I was like, first of all, this is the acclaimed movie? Second of all, why?
That is a weird fucking starting point.
Yeah, later on, I was like, oh,
That is a wild
that was
fucking
like
starting point.
a sequel, kind of. But it was called, like, The Next Generation, so it's like a reboot.
And then, so, this franchise is so stupid because...
Well, I know there's a term for it. I don't know what it is, but it's that thing where, like, you have a franchise and then they kind of, like, super focus on one aspect of it, and then it just keeps going.
Well, the problem was they focused on Leatherface, right?
Because the movie after this, the third one, is literally called Leatherface.
Well, yeah, and they've remade Leatherface.
And then we had, I think one of the other sequels also has that, but it's like every other movie, they hyper focus on Leatherface. And it's just same thing. Like,
well, even the
young teenagers find house.
Well, here's the crazy thing. Yeah. A lot of them just forget about the family altogether.
It's like a tiny portion.
Well, some of them don't even have the family at all. Like the new one, for instance, Texas Chainsaw, which is, in my opinion, absolute fucking trash. It literally, they don't even go to a house.
It's just Leatherface.
It's just Leatherface.
Yeah.
It is the most fucking stupid, lazy bullshit. But that's the problem with this, because they focused on Leatherface and forgot about that it's like literally about the entire family killing these people.
It's just both the first one and the second one feel like movies made by crazy people.
Now, I know this is a crazy statement. I don't absolutely hate the remake to the original.
I mean, it's the original. So
yeah. I don't absolutely hate it because they have
follows the same plot.
They have like the crazy sheriff and all that shit, and they do the family shit. There is Leatherface in there, obviously, but those two are like the two that I'm like, okay, they actually are okay. The second one though, like 1 and 2 are like the most watchable ones, obviously.
No, 1 and 2 feel like movies made by crazy people.
Yes, which is the whole point.
And that is why these two work, because they feel like movies. It feels like the family in the movie made this.
Well, and this is a repeat offender too.
Tobe Hooper.
He directed.
I mean, he made the first one. But the movie that we had of his before was The Funhouse, which we both enjoyed.
Yeah, Funhouse was really fun.
And this, I mean, listen, he knows what he's doing. This especially. Like, the fact that they gave them money to make this absolute demon fever dream.
I know this sounds weird because it's like gross out mayhem, bodies everywhere. This is like comfort horror to me.
Well, see, this movie has there's an interesting amount of camp in this.
And I love a little bit of camp. I don't mind a lot of camp as long as it's done right.
I love camp. I love, like, enjoyment, popcorn, insanity.
Yeah.
This movie has that. It has camp to where you can laugh or you can be horrified.
Yeah, either way.
And for me, because we are both on the wavelength,
we're degenerates.
We do both.
Well, yeah.
We laugh, we're horrified, we have a grand old time.
Yeah, we could go on forever about this movie. I fucking love everything about it. We won't bore you with all the details, obviously, but again, if you have not seen this, please go watch it. If you like anything about Texas Chainsaw Massacre, even if you like the new ones, give it a try.
If you just want, if you're someone who wants to see just unhinged horror, like if that's your thing, you want to see some horror movies that are just out there, absolutely insane, unhinged, you have to watch this.
Which is kind of funny because we're 2 in a row for that kind of movie.
Yes, we are.
Because From Beyond is nothing like any horror movie you've seen either.
Yes.
So,
it's very fitting.
Maybe that streak will continue. Probably not, but,
in a way.
Yeah.
It will.
Do we even have to... I mean...
Look.
I don't know why we're doing Shitty to Pretty, but it's a 10. Obviously.
Listen. It's not even Shitty to Pretty. This is just, for me, a 10 in any way.
Oh, yeah. I mean, even, like, on just a movie level. Like if we're critiquing it,
Any way
I
you
love this movie.
slice it, Will.
You do not feel a second of the 1 hour 40-minute mark.
Yeah, no,
You don't like, you're entertained the entire way through. You don't give a shit how long it is. I wish it was longer, to be honest, because I want to just sit in this world.
Yeah, you could just exist in this thing.
I just want to sit in it for like 3 hours.
Yeah, this is, man. I just the amount of effort put into this.
I mean, the set alone is huge, and there's shit everywhere.
The atmosphere, like, you just want to spend time with these psychos. Like, you just want to see these psychos murder people and go to his fucking stupid chili cook-offs.
Yeah, and there's
great.
not, I mean, to be honest, they did that much entertaining shit, and there's not even that many characters in the movie.
No.
It's not like a group of teens.
That's smart.
It's one radio DJ and an unhinged lunatic with a chainsaw.
Because they knew it's a movie about family.
That's what makes it so powerful.
Yes. They understood. Well,
Remember, the Saw is family.
the Saw is family. They literally tell you in the movie.
Yeah.
No.
Dennis Hopper understands.
Okay.
The Saw is family. Okay?
Dennis Hopper understood the assignment, okay?
He did. Saw is family.
Saw is family. It's about
Because-
family. He's avenging his family with the Saw.
Mhm.
And it's about love. By
Yes.
finding love in all the wrong places, okay?
Oh, absolutely. And trusting an absolute lunatic to try and get you out of a fucking horrific situation.
Yeah, being in a situation where the only person you can even remotely trust is a guy who wears someone else's face
And doesn't talk.
and doesn't talk and licks his lips every time he sees you.
And thrusts his chainsaw at you like a dick.
Okay? Love. It's about love.
That's love. That's true love right
It's about
there.
love, and that also makes it more powerful.
No
okay?
one's thrust a chainsaw at me like that.
No other sequel in this franchise does that.
Oh, are you kidding me? No.
They're not even going to think about that.
No one sexualizes
A chainsaw.
Leatherface.
Fucking chainsaw will.
No one even delves into Leatherface falling in love after this
Ever.
movie. Ever. They'd never go into that.
It's like weird to me because this movie is so fucking out there that the least psychotic person in the fucking family is the dude who wears people's faces.
And makes furniture out of people.
That, my friend, is subverting your goddamn expectations.
Yes.
Again,
Like, for a split second, they had the gall
yes,
to make Leatherface an anti-hero.
he is the one person who hesitates in the murder.
For a split second, he becomes an anti-hero. This is Leatherface.
But he can't do it because the Saw is family.
Saw is powerful. It's family.
It's not
It's the law.
SCEX, goddammit.
Saw is the law, and it is family.
I swear, every line in this movie is golden.
Goated movie, goated horror movie. I fucking love it. It's a joy that we got to watch it on this podcast because I love talking about it. Go watch Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. I won't harp on too much longer about it. Do your homework, though. And also do your homework and share the podcast and like, comment, subscribe on everything. And, really helps us out.
And don't skimp on the meat.
Thank you all for listening. Don't skip on the meat. Bye.
Bye.